Good evening. Good evening. I trust that everybody's fine. It's 9 o'clock.
Mm.
It is Wednesday evening. It is that time when Hope and Action Network brings you the Friend of a Wounded Heart program. I warmly welcome you to this session. And let me just say a word of prayer before we begin. Heavenly Father, we thank you for bringing us here at this 9 o'clock hour, as you have done for so many sessions before. We ask you to take control of this session, just as you've done before. May we have lively discussion, rich information that we can take into our lives. We ask you to keep the connectivity going so that our program will proceed uninterrupted. At the end of it all, may we be fulfilled. May we be, may we be truly blessed. This we ask in Jesus' name. Amen. Yes, welcome to all of you. I know we have a couple new faces this evening, and so we issue an extra special welcome to you. This evening, we are here for session number 192. So, yes, we have been going for quite a long time, and we are here because Hope and Action Network says we want to build a better society. In fact, our vision says a better society built on strong foundations through the empowerment of everyone. So, yes, when we come here, we seek to empower, we seek to develop ourselves because we who host the program have our issues. And so, as we discuss, as we talk, as we ask questions, we learn from you. We learn from you. At the end of it all, we are hoping that our society would benefit from what we do, from all the discussions we've had here. So, our vision, a better society built on strong foundations through the empowerment of everyone. Well, what have we done over 192 sessions? Well, we have dealt with a variety of topics. We've dealt with societal issues, family issues, issues of love, issues of hate, disasters, encouragement. We've celebrated. We've celebrated birthdays and we've celebrated Christmas, the seasons, and we have had uplifting sessions as well, sessions to help us to view ourselves well. We have given thanks. We've done all kinds of things. But what have we done for the last 5 sessions? Usually, we let you know what we did. So on the 24th of June, our session was entitled The Main Ingredients. And there we dealt with that old nursery rhyme or song that asked, what are little girls made of? And we found that girls were made of beautiful things. And then it was asking, what are little boys made of? And we found that boys were made of some negative things. And in that session, we said, listen, God made all of us. He didn't make boys out of slugs and snails and puppy dogs' tails. He made all of us, and we're fearfully and wonderfully made. And so we are not to walk around thinking as women that we are better made than men. On the 1st of July, Captain, the ship is sinking. And there we looked at the ferry incident in St. Kitts, where everybody survived. And on that same day, there was an incident in Antigua, and no lives were lost. Of course, now we are dealing with something that is totally opposite to that, but we were celebrating with the people of St. Kitts and the people of Antigua. On the 8th of July, heading to Japan, there we saw a little boy with autism, called an Uber, went to JFK and told them he was going to Japan, sneaked out of the house. We also dealt with another incident where a young boy stole his father's truck and killed some monks. Yes, it was a week where young people were doing crazy things. We spoke about the young guy in Trinidad who stole his father's motorcycle and he died. We also spoke of a boy with autism who was found, a nonverbal young man who was found in New York, and they were trying to locate his family. And we were saying, look, we need to put measures in place to secure our vulnerable people. On the 15th of July, grades for grabs. There we spoke of Island Ock in Staten Island, a young man, Island Ock, and he had all the young people bring in their grade sheets to him. Yes, and he rewarded them. It was such a motivating thing to see the young people walk in. Hi, Island Ock. I came to show you my results. I came to show you my report card. And oh, he remembered them from the semester before, the term before. Oh, last term you had a 92. Now we got a 93. Good. Come, grab anything you want. And they were grabbing things from his deli. And I remember specifically, or in particular, one young man whose grades were down in the 70s. And he said, oh no. And the guy explained that he had some issues and that he will do better. And he said, all right, let's motivate him to do better. And he let the young man grab things from the deli as well. And they took their things, they packed them, and they went home. He also got laptops and so on for some of the ones who were in higher education. So we were saying, look, let's help. Let's help as we pass along. Last week, 22nd July, if you spit in the sky. And we're saying that we're supposed to treat people well. Treat people well. Sow good seeds. When we treat people well, we are investing in them. This week, mango season. Mango season. Listen, I love mangoes. I just love a good mango. And in the ad I sent you, it said, mangoes like success are incredibly sweet. Watching a mango tree grow from a seed to a bearing plant takes 5 to 8 years. As it progresses through germination, rapid vegetative growth, and eventual flowering and fruiting. And it's mango season, and I'm not getting enough mangoes somehow. It's mango season in the Caribbean and in the life of the young lady who is our guest this evening. It's mango season. Yeah. She has steadily produced fruit over the past 19 years. And now she is laden with ripe, beautiful fruits to the delight of all. And this week, she's going to recount her growth experience as we celebrate her achievements. Everyone needs to listen to her story. So I introduce to you, it looks a little dark still, Natasha, but I introduce to you Natasha Rochford Chance. And how did I meet her? In 2007, I became the site coordinator of the Open Campus Tobago site. And I met her there as a member of staff. She was a clerical assistant. And oh, we had a good time. Yeah, that's good. That's better. That's better. We had a grand time. We had a great time in the office. Oh, we had some good days and we had some challenging days, but we had fun while at work. I left in 2009, the end of 2009, to assume the position of head Open Campus Trinidad and Tobago. So she was still on my staff, and we would communicate from time to time. I left Open Campus in 2013. I left her there, but she is no longer there. She's no longer there as a clerical assistant. UWI Open Campus, Trinidad and Tobago site. Here she is with us this evening. And Natasha, tell me, why did you tell me to name this session Mango Season?
Good night, everyone, and thank you for the opportunity. I told you to name this mango season because I wanted you to understand that when you plant a tree, And when you manure the tree and you water the tree, and sometimes based on how you pour into people, it's sunshine and so on. I did not want to tell you that I was on this journey. I wanted to wait until it ended to surprise you that your fruit has blossomed. Your mango is now ripe, and you can now pick your mango and show to the world, this is what I help produce. And that's the reason, because I love mango. I know you love mango.
Oh,
And so
yes.
I said, you know what? The ideal thing to name this is mango season, because this is your time to say, hey, I have coached, I have mentored, I have inspired someone who can now tell my story, who can now tell their story. And it's because of your commitment to excellence that I am, a testimony here today. So mango season is because I know you love it, and I know you would have watered in me. You would have planted a seed in me that is now blossoming into this beautiful fruit.
Let me just introduce you properly. Ladies and gentlemen, please meet Dr. Natasha Rochford-Chance. Doctor, did you hear me? Dr. Natasha Rochford-Chance, who I met at Open Campus in 2007 as a clerical assistant. Yes. So, I want to hear about your educational season. And I want you to take your time, because we're starting from the point at which there was germination. So you have to tell us where you came from, who you came from. I want to hear about your growth through those early years. I want to hear about preschool, primary school, secondary school, until your eventual flowering and fruiting. So take your time, Natasha. Somebody here could benefit from your journey. So tell us about your educational season.
Thank you for that.
Are you getting some applause in the chat, eh?
Yeah, thank you so much, everyone. Preschool for me was a little tough time, as far back as I could remember. I went about a few preschools well, because my mother and father had a bit of a separation and some altercation happening. And so I moved between aunts, and I had one uncle. And so I was at almost everybody's home, neighbors and all of that. And so based on where they lived, I went to preschool there. I can remember preschool teachers would say, oh, she real bright, And so they would work with me or work on me, for lack of a better term. So I had beautiful preschool years, except for just moving. I didn't have sufficient time with any one particular teacher. So I had a number of persons nurturing me from very young. In primary school, I actually went to 3 primary schools on the island. I went to St. Andrews Primary School. I went to Monk St. George Methodist, and then I went to Bucco Government School, where I sat common entrance at that time. And at the primary school level, I was considered very brilliant. I could remember there was a young lady and I, her name is Julia, and we used to battle for first and second from standard 3 to standard 5, and it was a serious battle. And I could remember feeling very, very sad when at that time the common entrance results came and she did not pass. And I know it's probably because of fright for examinations and so on. So, we had conversations to kind of bring her out of a state of depression. So even back then, I saw myself as somebody who can encourage others to be their better selves and to blossom into being their best selves eventually. So in primary school, I also ventured into drama, which I love, writing, yes, performing. I was an athlete. I specialized in the distance races. So if it had a little marathon, I could remember just coming out of primary school, I ran the half marathon in Tobago. I was number 7th female overall, and I think the 2nd female in Tobago, if I'm not mistaken. A girl named Marlene from Monk St. George would have be the first Tobago woman who crossed the finish line. And then I went, when I sat common entrance, every time you think you're bright in Tobago back in those days, you probably wanted to go to Bishop's as your first choice. And then I had Scarborough Sec, because it was, in that time, it was Bishop, Scarborough Sec, and Roxborough Secondary School. So I think I had Bishop's as my first choice. I'm pretty excited to go to Bishop's, because that was known as the bright school. And so if your teachers were telling you you're bright, you thinking, well, you're so bright, you would end up there. That didn't happen. I went to Scarborough Sec, and I didn't mind. Scarborough Sec for me, then you get to meet up with the bigger guns. You know, when you think you're bright, it's a brighter people than you. Significantly so. So you went through primary school thinking that oh yeah. And by the time you hit to secondary school, you think about it, you know, you're average, you ain't all that, you ain't bright, you know, you had to now compete if you want to keep that status of being brilliant. So competition stiff. I started to play football, I did netball, brilliant in the sports, in the drama, and not as brilliant as I was in primary school with the books. But I'm a mother only girl, so I needed to show up and show off. So I went to classes. My mother used to be at Bishop, so in the evening I would go to Bishop. So sometimes even now when I look back, I cannot exactly remember who I went to school with or who I visited at Bishop's. So most of them I call my schoolmates anyway, because when I left Scarborough, it's like over company, I would normally go to Bishop's for evening classes.
Right.
To bring back my brilliance, so to speak. So I was going to school by the average school and going to the evening classes by the brilliant school to make sure I have, you know, I come up to scratch. But I'm a second chancer. By the time I exited, and I'm sure later on we will deal with my challenges and so on. By the time, so for those who don't know, in Tobago, Scarborough Sec was a 3-year school at the time, and then Signal Hill was a senior comprehensive at the time. So after finishing Scarborough Secondary for 3 years, I went obviously to Signal Hill Secondary School. And having arrived there, you know, you dealt with all sorts of issues. Sometimes you kind of lose your way. You're still in athletics, you know, you're still an athlete. And then you're not so focused on the books because you're dealing with so many other little trivial issues. And if you're not strong enough, you could really lose your way. So when I left Signal Hill Comprehensive, I didn't leave with a clean bill of great educational health. And so I had to repeat. I wasn't too excited based on the little traumas that I had at Signal Hill to return to Signal Hill to repeat. And then my mother, having finally understood what I was explaining to at the time and what I've been through at the school, I got into Elizabeth's College, or those days in Tobago, they used to call it Moren. If persons remember Senator Mbahu Mohini, he was sort of the principal of that school. Him and his mom were there at the time. And so I went there and I got settled quickly and truly applied myself, so much so that they had me sort of like teaching a little special class. So, you know, I'm feeling bright again, you know, I'm getting back the marks that I was accustomed to in the primary school setting. And by the time I exited there, well, my educational bill of health obviously would have gotten a stamp, like a fit for work stamp. I'm good now, I could go to work. I have this stuff, the regular thing they're asking for your 5 CXC passes and so on. And then because I wanted to add to that, I did some evening classes along the way and got some additional CSEC qualifications at the time. But then to the back of my mind, I still thinking, this is not my destiny. You know, I have so much potential. And if I only sat down and try to understand myself and not understand myself in the eyes of others, but in my own eyes and what I truly want to become, if I do that, if I take my time with myself, I could realize greater potential. But I started to work. And when I started to work, got married, had kids and all of that, I'm still saying, but this is not you. This is you can be so much more. You can do more things. And I think education was the driving force, you know, with that. So I think in 2006, I started, well, of course, I did evening classes, those certificate classes, because you want to add to your thing now, you want to add to your CSEC. Those certificate courses was a big deal, you know? And then the gate got opened. At first, it was dollar for dollar. I didn't have no dollar to match their dollar, so I had to pick that one out. And then when the gate got opened, I said, well, I going in. I didn't go in the first batch, but I know I have to get in because the schools that were available doing the things that I liked were in Trinidad. And at that time, it's only since after COVID, you know, you have these virtual things and so on. So before that, everything you had to get to class. So I had to now look for the purse to get to Trinidad every Saturday. And that was to do my first degree. End up in a class thinking you're bright again. And you're pushing it. You're pushing. And then I realized, hey, are actually bright in this class, because by that time I am so much more settled with myself and begin to forget the noise, trim off all the fat, all the nonsense that was going on, and actually settle down and participate actively and read and read and read. And I realized part of the brilliance is not really being naturally brilliant, it's getting the information from where it is into your head. So you have to deposit things into yourself in order to produce those things. So I started doing my deposits regularly, as if you were having a savings account. I take from the book, deposit it into my brain, so I was able to put it on the paper, right? And so I did very well in my first degree, well, reasonably well, I should say, in my first degree. And I had a friend that I met, a Trinidadian friend, beautiful girl. And so we concluded, it was a 3-year program in 2009. And we had some years off, still working, have family business to see about. In 2015, this was so funny. She called me up and she said, master's time. I said, me and her no money for that. And then she said, no, it's not about money. The school have a layaway program, because by that time it's 50% gate for masters. And she said, well, we have to do it. Now, I know I don't have any money. I don't have the capacity to even take the loan to do it. So I promised this good friend of mine, told a little fib and said, yes, I am on board, and we're starting classes and so on. The morning of the class, that was, I think she went in October. She called me. She said, where are you? I said, at the airport. I'm on my way. That time I'm in bed. I don't have a cent. And by the time she got to class, because we are friends, she knew that this was a story.
Yeah.
Right? Because I'm usually early, right? So when most Tobagonians, because you take the first flight, you get down, you go straight to school in St. Augustine, and when by the time you
get there first.
Yes. So when she got there, she realized, she said, where are you? I said, I'm coming. She said, I know you ain't coming. Tell me the truth. You don't have any money? I said, not a cent. She said, when I go home this evening, we'll talk, we'll devise a plan. And by the next semester, because they have an intake the next semester, which was January, you're coming to do your master's. And I followed her plan to a T. And by January, I was in the program, the master's program. And well, it's there I find my way self. So when in the master's program, when I had we had some good lecturers. I went to School of Accounting and Management. And hey, man, I show off in that program. I get on. I show up as a Tobagonian, because one, I was dealing with coming from Tobago, having to fight to either get on the boat or get on the plane, and being on time, having to read, having to get up a lot earlier, having to find money to feed yourself, sometimes place to stay, because when you're in Trinidad and a teacher decides they make decisions for the majority of the class. So on a Saturday, if a teacher does not show up, they automatically announce a Sunday class, without consideration that there are some people who didn't come down with an extra nothing and probably cannot stay for the class, And so that's how I made friends with my girlfriend anyway, because she said, well, you could stay by me, I'll get you shopping, I'll get you some overnight things, and you would have to do it. And because and that is because I helped her with something I didn't even remember, because like yourself, Dr. Ward, you deposit into people. And so you taught me that lesson along with my mother from very early. You just help because it's naturally you. So I did not even remember at the time. She had asked me something about statistics sometime in the first degree. And because I helped her and share all the work and all the notes, this is why this girl was so invested in ensuring that I did my master's. I did not know that until she admitted that, So that was me. That was her picking, of this mango that is in season. So when I finished that, and some years had passed, and so because we finished that was a year program, a little over a year. That was in 2016. And if we're talking about the educational thing now, she called me a couple of years ago, and she said, wait, what we studying now? I said, well, the next level is doctorate. We ain't going back to do no next master's. What are we doing that for?
Right.
And she said, well, not me and that, I don't want no DR before my name. I want MRS. At the time, I wasn't even thinking. So I said, MRS? What's she talking about? Wait, that is MRS. And she said, what do you mean? I said, what is MRS? Well, who teaching that? She said, me and who teaching that, but I need to find a husband so I can be Mrs. I said, oh, I understand you now. So even when she called me in 2024, late 2023, if I'm not mistaken, and she said, here's what, we had to go and study something. I said, no problem. She said, but I'm not studying, I'm not doing no doctorate. I said, well, here what? I am going to do my doctorate. And you could continue to do your MRS, but I promise you, once I finish my doctorate and you are not MRS dot anything, you are going to have to do it. So now she's not MRS. So the deal is she has to go to do a doctorate with immediate effect, if not before.
Okay.
But in terms of my educational journey, there are people along the way like yourself that I kept it a very tight secret because I so wanted to make you so proud. One of the reasons why I wanted to make you proud too, you always believe in doing your utmost best. So you ain't want no B plus. You just look at a B plus and say, well, what you doing with that? 2 marks away from an A. Why you couldn't get an A? And so I ensured every single paper that I did while I had a mentor or a teacher, you were in the back of my head and I'm thinking, you're going to say, don't do this. You're going to say, ensure that you be a little bit clearer here. Expand on this. Add to this. Natasha, but this is not so clear. If you ask yourself this question and you give yourself an answer, would you understand what you said there? So in the back of my mind, you were there all along the way. And I said, I ain't telling you nothing. And when I finish with my all A's self, I am going to tell you that I have done well. And thank you so much for depositing everything that you have, because you gave it so easy, so freely, with so much love. And you know, you said we had some great times and we had some challenging times, and you would correct us with so much love. And it's because of that that even my leadership style today sort of emulates what you would have taught us at the time when you were leading us. So I'm grateful, and my educational journey, as far as from the time I met you till now, has changed courses, even, changed course, because I'm now not even learning the things that are theoretical, but learning how to become a better me.
Oh boy, Natasha. Well, I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know I was doing anything for you. I just knew we were working there. I was the senior person in the office. And I mean, I didn't know. I didn't know that I was making an impact on you. I just know we were there working, and I would show you how to do things, assist and so on. We write a letter, read it, and say, no, if we send this, whatever, this needs to be clear and so on. Yeah, but I really didn't know. I really didn't know, but you kept saying to me after I left that you learned so much from me, and I couldn't figure out what did I teach her? Couldn't figure that out at all. I could not figure it out. But now you're mentioning some things, and I think that's what we're supposed to do, Natasha. I think that's how we're supposed to operate. And I've always said that if we work with people, when they leave us, they must be better off than when we met them. Now, some people appreciate that, and some people would view it negatively, but I am proud of you, girl. I'm very, very proud of you. Thank you. Yeah, so I congratulate you, Dr. Natasha Rochford Chance. And once I saw this thing, I called you up, yes, and we decided, yes, we're going to talk about it this evening. Yeah, but I left you as a clerical assistant at Open Campus.
Yes.
And you are not there.
No.
What became of you? So tell us about that part, that part of your growth journey.
So when you left, and you always told us, become your better selves, strive for excellence. And you told us, even if that means departing from where you are, because a journey is just that. It's not a bus stop. It's not a place to just sit and stay. It's to move ahead, right? And so having finished the degree, of course, you wanted to practice what you learned. I went on to become the manager for courts, Unicoma, and I learned so much in retail from Unicoma. Amazing space to work and to learn from. I went on to be a manager at Farfan. I was area manager at Standard Distributors Limited. And strange enough, because I would have learned so many things along the way from you and from other persons. I was able on my exit interview to tell them some things, although I was telling them before. Somehow they seem to listen on your exit interview. And all these things that I have told these places, probably because I have this spirit of discernment, or I don't know what it is, or foresight. But all the things that I would have told them have come to pass. I told Standards, if you and FT Farfan, if you do not shrink your space or utilize it better, you're going to close. Standard is now closed down. FT Farfan is no longer in Tobago. In courts, I told them if they don't change their working hours or adjust their working hours somewhat, the best staff is going to go. That happened, they had to change their working hours. So I have this spirit or this energy or this foresight that I'm able to advise. And that is from learning things along the way. So in terms of management, I've been through those places. I've learned, I've worked with people, I've mentored people, encouraged people. People have encouraged me. I have learned from them. I am now GMMB Express Finance branch head in Scarborough. So I've been in the financial sector, and that is because I wanted to learn. It was a bit of a downgrade in terms of your area. So for instance, if you look at your CV, coming from an area manager to just a branch head, you think you're lowering yourself. But I truly wanted to learn the financial aspect of the thing, why companies would make certain financial decisions, why they wanted us to understand certain things, even simple budgeting and catering for retirement. I wanted to be hands-on, learning terms that people would use just loosely, like debt service ratio, disposable income. You just tell people that they don't know what you mean. You go to a bank for a loan, they tell you sign here. I don't know what I'm signing to. They don't give you enough time to read the fine print and all of that. So I wanted to understand that because I have a family. I wanted to teach them, and I wanted them to go better off in pocket. And I wanted to teach myself how to be better off by the time I get to retirement. So I went through that journey, and I'm here now, ready to face the world.
Yes, ma'am. Dr. Natasha Chance. Congratulations again. I imagine, Natasha, that you would have had some struggles along the way. You got married at 19, right?
That is correct.
And had 2 children.
That is also correct.
Tell us as much as you are comfortable telling about your struggles along the way.
Yeah. So, and probably that's one of the reasons I got married at 19. As I said, when I hit high school, you had a whole heap of things. For one thing I couldn't understand, and I probably still cannot understand, is how a school of Black children would find you too Black. So colorism was a big thing. So instead of me, and when you're dark skinned as a Black person or as an African or a person of African descent, somehow if your hair not curly, your eyes not blue or gray, your waist not small, your bottom not round enough, you're not rich, you can't be with the persons who what we would call the groups that people would want to talk to, right? So you would call all kind of names. You felt like it was you alone. I would have people probably talking to me, probably like when it comes to drama time, if we have a talent show and they want me to perform, I have all the friends in the world. When it's time for sports, because I was an athlete and I won, as a matter of fact, I received an award in sports. I left there as Victor Sudoyam. At that time, sports time, everybody wanted me on the team. I remember even having I had about 7 races on that day. And so a group of my classmates were gathered. And it's so funny now, eh? And when they gathered, and one guy was saying, God, she real good, eh? And one of the guys' response was, yeah, but she too Black to line with me.
Oh.
And I looked at him and I laughed. And the way he looks now, Lord. And I looked at him and I said, you know what? I was so good at drama. And I said, he would not interfere with my spirit today. And so I just passed by them and, hey, guys. And they was like all friendly. And I already in the back of my mind heard them. But I thank God every day for my mother, because my mother, I came from a home that you was loved, because every day you was told that you were loved. You were told, I love you every single day. In the street, by the shop, in the taxi, exiting the taxi. There was no shyness. It wasn't hidden. It wasn't like a love only in the house. It was a love. Watch me. It was a genuine, honest, deep love. And brothers would say that I have 3 brothers. 2 have passed on. But brothers and they would tell me they love me anyway. It didn't matter, right? We would greet one another in the streets, but so because I had that safety at home, that is what I think saved me, right? So getting married at 19, I believe, is probably at that time without even understanding who I was or understanding myself, because I wanted probably, excuse me, to feel that sense of belonging. I probably said yes. As a matter of fact, and this is no joke, I did not know at the time when I was asked, will you marry me, that an answer could have been no.
You always said that, Natasha.
All the movies I watched before that, every single one of the movies I watched before that.
Natasha always said that in the office.
So it's the truth. Every single movie I watched before that, will you marry me? The answer was yes. So I had no idea. It is only
you could have said no.
That I watched the movie and the young lady response was, I am not ready. And I said, oh my God, you can say that? So I run off to my mother and I said, Mommy, I didn't know. You could have said that. I honestly did not know. And because I wanted to feel like loved or cared for by the opposite sex, I probably wanted to feel attractive or something. I quickly said yes. And my husband, ex-husband, we're very good friends. I still call him my husband. It doesn't matter. He is not bothered by it. Neither is his new wife. None of them are bothered by me calling him husband or whatever it is. And because I live a very peaceful, comfortable life. But at that time, I was like lost. And I guess I wanted to feel love. So I said, okay. And my husband is a tall, dark, handsome guy. You know, we all look at these ideal profiles of the men that based on, you know, what we like. And so that's my preference, tall, dark, and handsome. So it was easy to say yes to a tall, dark, handsome man that fit the profile. Yeah. Went on. We had 2 beautiful kids, and I now have 2 beautiful grandchildren. But that was a struggle, because even when we parted ways, it wasn't nice ways that we parted. While now we are very good and so on, we had some struggles in between there, some real struggles, some painful struggles, some struggles that you had to take a trend to counseling. You went through the court system, you fought hard. There were people, sometimes he would point me out on the street and say things. But because I was strong inside from the love that I had at home, there was one time at the courthouse, I said to a girl, I said, imagine he walked down the aisle, waited for me, say yes, and now telling you to laugh me. What do you think he could do in a few years with you, girl? You are nothing to him. I am still Mrs. Chance. So you need to relax yourself. He walked away, she walked away. So he never did that after that. But if I didn't have that strength from within, I would not have been able to say those words. And mind you, it's not that it didn't hurt me, but I had to play big-ish. So I grew up kind of masking things too, learning how to be hard on the outside. I will come home and cry, but you ain't gonna see me cry. I facing the world strong like an ox. But home sometimes, you know, and that's why they say sometimes, reach out to your strong friends and see how they're doing, Because sometimes you never know, you know?
Yes.
Yeah, so, you know, sometimes inside I was like, Jesus Christ, I really had to go through this, boy. You know, this, nah, boy, nah. I had to walk this road, boy, nah. You know? And then you face the world and you say, hey, I'm here, I'm good. You're not always good, but you try, you know. And sometimes when you encourage yourself more, you actually get to the good, From time to time, you actually get there by pushing yourself, you know.
Yes.
But you're always good. So guys who are listening here, check on your strong friends from time to time. We are not always as strong as you think we are. Yeah. So that's as much as I can share for now.
I remember your car was stolen, Natasha. In the middle of trying to work things out, and so your car was stolen.
Yeah.
Tell us about that time. How did it
feel? So that was so strange. I was studying at the time. And God, you see, God, for those of us on the call that believe in God, continue to believe in God. And for those who are not yet there, I hope you get there someday. But if you believe in a superior being, then believe in your superior being. But that morning I woke up. I worked on radio at that time. And I came home in the evening, as a matter of fact, before that. And the gentleman who is my grandfather's son now, he had a epileptic incident. So we had to rush to take him to the hospital. My grandson father, sorry. And so when we came back, I left my bag with my books in the car. I was tired because I'd come from work, had to rush with him, you know, and take him to the hospital and then come back home. The morning when I just couldn't sleep. And I found the car to be parked too far to go for the books to study. And I started to clean my house. Well, you know, me and you had the same kind of custom. We just clean, 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 like we going out to be head, right? For those who don't know you, I know you, you are clean, 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 clean person. So persons who don't know, Dr. Ward, she very, very clean. You can eat off her she ground, just so you know. So I got up and I started clean. I ain't looking in the direction of the car at all, eh? And I cleaning, I cleaning, I cleaning. And by the time it was about 6 o'clock when I would normally get ready to go to the radio, I looked in the direction of where my car would park. But one of my daughters, by that time, my husband and I had separated. So one of my daughters was living with her father, my ex-husband, not too far away. And the key was still on the dresser. So I said, I wonder if she had the other key, and took the car and went home. So I called her quickly and I said, did you take the car? She said, Mommy, which car? I said, my car. She said, no. I said, my God. And that is when it came to me. My car was stolen. Now, my eldest daughter, she became police. Police, I'm telling you. And she literally assisted the police in finding my car, and it was found. Now, for me, let me tell you how I have never been raped. But somebody stealing my car, I felt like if I was raped. Somebody just come and take something that is not theirs from you, right in front of you. You could say your very space. And I never went back in that car again. Never. I sold that car, and because I had just painted over the car, I sold that car for, I think it's either $15,000 or $20,000. That car did not have battery. It didn't have, because it was an old-time engine with gearbox and those kind of things. It didn't have all sorts of things it didn't have. That car supposed to have, but it was the body was in such good condition. I was able to make some money, you know, still off of the car, but I never went back in that car again. And it kind of set me back mentally, because you tell yourself, oh, your God, you're trying so hard to get some little things and people will just take the little things you have. Why fight for anything worth it, you know? So that was that experience. It was really a kind of mental setback a little bit, you know?
I know how it was, eh? And you were studying at the time.
Correct.
Was studying at the time. But Natasha, you know, my husband is a farmer. And I look at him fertilizing, feeding the plants, ensuring that the drip is working well, and doubling up the drip so that the plants would get enough water. And of course, he always has good produce. What are some of the fertilizers that shaped your course?
Having a great mother, having people like you, having some good employees, and some not so good employees, because they shape you too, eh? Not so good people shape you too. Having my children always. I have one daughter who is very, very critical. And so she will tell you things that you don't expect young people to tell you, that would wake you up. And I have one who, she just wants to aspire to be you. So you know, you're trying to be your best self for her. And the struggles that does remind you that if you stand still, nothing is going to get done. But if you just move one foot at a time, anything is possible. So these are the things that I allow to guide me, you know, and keeping in touch with the master while you're driving, while you're walking. You just get up to use the washroom at night, you talk to him and say, Father, some people can't even move, they have bags, you know, and you're thanking for the little things, even the annoyance, you're thanking for that, because that is what makes you stronger, that gives you patience, it guides you. So every person who, you know, would have passed through my life, good, bad, or indifferent, every experience is like a guiding light for me. Every single one. I don't condemn any. I don't wish my life was different in any way, because I may not have been as resilient as I am. You know, you might wish for more things, but I don't wish for different things. You know, if I were to live my life again, I would probably make some decisions a little bit earlier. But it's only because I passed through them that I now have the knowledge to make them earlier. But I wouldn't wish for anything else.
Well, Natasha, you have spoken about your mother and the people in your life and so on. You know, there's some people who would have gotten married at 19, have their 2 children or more,
Just I didn't hear
Endure.
you. I lost you a bit there.
Oh, I'm sorry. I am saying there's some people who would have gotten married at 19,
Mm-hmm.
have their 2 children or more, settle into all the negatives that were happening during the marriage, and
Mm-hmm.
just settle.
Yeah.
What really drives you? Because you have to be driven to decide, look,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't get all my CSEC passes, let me go get them. All right, I got married at 19. I'm supposed to be a brilliant girl. Let me move on. Let me get to my other
Mm-hmm.
subjects. Let me get a job. Let me get a better job. Let me go
Yeah.
into management. What is driving Natasha? You see, I really want you to tell us, because I want the people who are listening, who might
Mm-hmm.
believe, well, they should settle, to
Mm-hmm.
understand that your dreams can't work unless you do.
Yeah,
If you don't work, your dreams can't work.
that's right.
Yes.
So when I was a very young girl, my mother had me just under her wings. And there are things that she did not necessarily teach me in words, but in her actions, I learned them.
Mm-hmm.
And so every single time she had a setback, and that's why I probably grew up with some people would think I'm not very emotional. It's because what my mother taught me was this is an obstacle. You understand it's an obstacle. How do you move it and move on? So you see that perseverance, that ability to say, hey, you are in my way. I have to find the skills to move you out of my way because I need to get there. That is in the back of my head consistently. So I sit and I think, okay, where do you want to see yourself in 5 years? You want to do this, you want to do that. What are the plans you have to put in place to ensure that that finish line you get there? And I just drive toward. I'm totally focused. I don't let anything sidetrack me. If I am heading for Scarborough, you could call and say you're in Canaan, pick me up. No, I'm going Scarborough first. I'll pick you up when I'm coming back. Because if I allow things to derail me all the time, I would not get to Scarborough before the place closes. And I need to get to Scarborough. And that is what drives me. Me sitting down and saying X is my destination and working towards that consistently. Now, it does not mean that you wouldn't get a little sidetrack along the way. You wouldn't get a little, hiccups along the way. But if you remain focused on the plan ahead, ain't no stop. You know that song, ain't no stop. But I can't sing. You are the singer, yeah. Ain't no stopping us now.
Not anymore. Not anymore.
But ain't no stopping us now. That is what I have to the back of my mind. Ain't no stopping me now.
I remember too. See what you're talking about there? The
Mm-hmm.
same focus that you have on your personal goals.
Yeah.
You also had that focus on your job, your
Mm-hmm.
duties, your responsibilities at the
Yeah.
office. When things needed to be done, you ensured that they were done.
Yeah.
That kind of discipline is something I admired in you. And you know, at the office, we did some things. We
Mm-hmm.
brought food. I remember Emancipation, jollof
Yeah.
rice by Natasha. We
Mm-hmm.
had a meal, we
Mm-hmm.
celebrated, we had cake, and we did whatever.
Yeah.
In the middle of all of that, Natasha was doing her work, you know.
Yeah.
So yes, we have the food smelling up the office there, and the
Mm-hmm.
cake there, and the ice cream or whatever else we were having. It never distracted you.
Correct.
And that is such a good quality that so many of our young people need these days.
Yeah.
They're distracted. You know, they're in the computer age and the gadgets and so on. And I always talk about the shifting frames on well, of course, they used to be focused on television now, but now the frames are on their devices, the phones,
Yeah.
and everything else. So they become distracted so
Easily.
easily.
Mm-hmm.
But that focus you had, that way you had of sticking
Mm-hmm.
to what you had to do until it was finished,
Correct.
right? Till it was until it was
Mm-hmm.
finished.
And finish at a particular standard because you know your standards
Yes.
high. So your
So
standard from class.
so those positive qualities, you know, we can't really succeed in life if our if our standards are shifting.
Yeah.
So you're good when it comes to doing your work, but at the office, you do anything. Or, if somebody asks you to help them with something, you give them that kind of half. I don't see a person being successful if that is the way they operate. You have to have that mindset. And if you don't have it, uh, try to acquire that level of discipline that will allow you to be be excellent in every aspect of your life. That's something I admired about you, Natasha. That you were driven, that perseverance, that
Yeah.
desire for excellence. And when you had to redo a letter for me, I never saw any kind of
Nah. And I
anger
was learning so much.
or anything.
Yeah,
You
I was
just did
learning.
it. You did it, and there's sometimes when you might have done it, and then I had another thought, and I figured, yeah, we could change this again, and so we can make it better. And Natasha was right there with me. Such a very, very good clerical assistant.
Yeah.
Natasha, now we are accustomed to pausing and letting people ask questions. And so now we probably could have a couple questions toward the end.
Yeah.
But what do you have to say to people who decide to settle where they are?
But
People
then
who decide that this is it. That's me. I'm staying here.
no, that's a picture frame. The only thing that's we don't want to be picture frames. That's the only thing. Um Scarborough Village Council, when they started to bring back heritage, they had something called the Living Museum. And what it depicted is an image standing still. So persons were posing in frames of what the image ought to depict. And as you pass by, they came alive. And that is what people have to do. You have to come alive. You cannot come alive if you're in one position all the time. That's just for the photo. You have to move. Life is about a journey. That's why we have today, we have tomorrow, and we had yesterday. It's because you continue to move. What you learned yesterday, you apply today, and you're better at it tomorrow. But if you stand still, you ain't learning nothing, you ain't moving, you're not doing anything. And so if we ought to exist in a place that is growing, that's why we have technology that is increasing all the time. That's why so many persons now have fear of AI and technology and so on. That's because they are picture frames. If the world is advancing and you are not advancing, do not expect that those who are advancing to come back and say, well, hey, let me pull you up now. These days are gone. We have to inspire ourselves to become better. We have to want it. No longer should persons of a certain age sit in a council meeting and say, me, I know about that. Try and learn it. Because you don't want the world to leave you behind. It doesn't matter your age. As little as you could learn in whether it's AI technology, even the use of a simple smartphone and so on. I don't want to ask persons what's your email address and they tell me 26B Chan Street because they don't understand the term email address. So I want people to learn, and you cannot learn by standing still. That's just for the photo. So I don't want people to be photos. I want people to be living museums, act out their lives.
I like what you said there, because sometimes people who are senior believe that that's it. I don't need to know this. I don't need to do that. A gentleman was supposed to come to drop something off for me recently. And he called me, he says, send me a location. You know how to send location? I said, what? He's asking me if I know how to send location. I said, what? What do you mean by that? My husband and I went to the licensing office in Arima not too long ago. And the licensing officer said, you can't walk in anymore. They used to have senior citizens walk in. They say you can't walk in anymore. So when you go home, let somebody show you how to go online and make an appointment. Somebody who knows about technology said, let me tell you something. I know about technology. Because somehow they believe that our heads are too hard and whatever. Yeah, but yes, this is an encouragement for people who believe that they're too old to do this and too old to do that. Sit down and learn it. Sit down and do it.
Yeah.
Sit down. You might have to get somebody to show you how to do it. But everything now, they send you
Mhm.
online now for everything.
Every single thing.
Go online. My husband went to an office in Port of Spain recently. He was right there and it could have been done there. So you have to go home.
And go online.
No. Go home and make an appointment.
Mhm.
Yeah. So yes, technology sometimes messes up the world and stands in the way of progress sometimes, but it's a very useful tool. So for the senior people like me, yeah, we can use technology.
Correct.
Yes, we can. Every little thing, but like I live with it because, as you know, Natasha, we worked in
Yeah.
a distributed environment. So we had our meetings and everything else. We had to use technology, and I still teach online. I still need to use it. And of
Mm-hmm.
course, I am making all the cards and flyers and all of that you could think of using technology
Okay. Yeah.
at this age. And this guy was so fast to ask me if I know how to send those. And I want to shout out Betty D, who
Mm-hmm.
is a member of our Open Action Network too. And yes, she does very beautiful things using technology. So for us older ones, yeah, we could do it. We could do it. Perhaps we need to start a special class for some of us or some people who are afraid of it. So you're saying, yeah, we're not to be in the picture frame. Don't settle.
Mm-hmm.
How do you see yourself impacting others, Dr. Natasha Rochford Chance? How do you
So
see yourself impacting?
I, if knowledge that is not shared is useless. When you learn, you want to have conversations with people who understand what you're saying.
Mhm,
And if they are not there academically, you would want to find a way to explain certain things so that you can have a conversation with the persons around you. And
mhm,
therefore, every single step I have taken, I have ensured that my team who I'm now working with is encouraged to take very similar steps, if not the same steps.
mhm,
So when I started off, nobody was past CSEC. The group that I have now, one person is doing her master's. She finished a bachelor's degree. Another
mhm,
person went back to school at UE doing her first degree. Another person just applied. Another person went off to do some courses and she is now doing her own business. So I encourage people all the time. Embrace the urgency of today because tomorrow is a
mhm,
mystery, right?
mhm,
I
mhm,
learned that from Brother B. I also coined my own phrase, find your niche and mind your business. So I encourage persons all the time.
mhm.
Find your niche, whatever you like, because when you find something you like that you like, you never work another day in your life. Anthony Sabga, the DC, said that,
Yes, yes.
right?
Because it becomes play,
It
becomes
becomes
fun.
play.
Yes,
Yes. So if
yes.
you find that thing that you like, express yourself. Become the better you. Become the best you. Doing that. So my role, I see my role always as encouraging persons. Even before I came on here, I was finishing a proposal for the Book of Village Council that I was president for the past 10 years. For 10 years, not for the past 10 years, because I left there about 3-4 years ago. But I'm always trying to assist in terms of moving the bar,
Mhm,
moving
mhm,
ahead, getting the next step up. I don't like to settle. Even when you accomplish something and you think it's great, I don't think it's great enough. I think there's always a next step. Somebody asked me, are you done? I said, done what? That's not me. I'm now
mhm.
getting started, you know? It's
Yeah,
next level for me. So
yes,
that's how
yes.
I think, and that's how I tell people all the time. Don't ever quit. Today in work, they asked for persons to be mentors, and the supervisor said, I'm not going to do it. And I said, but why? Why would I want to share? I said, so that you can learn. You know what
Yes.
I recognized? When I was doing my first degree, a lot of Tobagonians would come to body with me to study. And I try to do my assignment first. And let me tell you what I learned from doing my assignment first and talking to them. The more you talk about the things, the more you say, hey, bright ideas start to light up. So
Mhm,
you have a better chance of reworking your assignment to get the best assignment
mhm,
from sharing.
mhm.
So why not share if you would learn? No, 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 no. So immediately after I said that, she signed up. So my role is to encourage everybody, not only to become your better self, but share your recipe with others so that they too can become their best selves.
And what do you think about delegating responsibilities? I'm asking you that because I remember after I left the Tobago office and I went to Trinidad,
Mm-hmm.
I started to delegate.
Yes.
And one person said, Joan, have we doing all she work? What do you think about delegating?
You have to. Any good leader who wants anybody to learn would want to delegate responsibilities. Because I have a WhatsApp channel and people could feel free to follow. It's the Rushfords group. And even today's lesson was on ownership and taking responsibility and so on. And if you as a leader don't delegate responsibilities, what is your team going to take ownership of?
Exactly.
And ownership is part of leadership. So you have to delegate in order for people to learn, not only to be good at their task, but to even cross-train to be good at other tasks.
Yes.
Right? And to be able to share that knowledge, if you don't give them some responsibility, no. You have to. It's part of the process. It's almost as if you, as women in here, if you have your cycle and you don't wear a feminine napkin, you're going to bleed on your pants or your skirts. You will mess up. In other words, you will mess up the thing. So if you have a responsibility as a leader to coach and mentor others, and you're not doing that because you're not delegating, you'll mess up the thing. It's as simple as that.
Yes. I remember at the Tobago office, there was a particular young lady who was the cleaner.
My very good friend, all up to this day.
Yes. And I met you all doing it, encouraged her. People who were coming there would not have known she was the cleaner, except they went very early on mornings and saw her cleaning.
That's right.
But she started to do office work.
Yes.
As the cleaner. And eventually she became an office attendant or assistant or one of those things.
Yes, correct.
Yes. Because she was being mentored and because she had the right attitude. That's right. But Natasha, you and I have been just talking for the past almost an hour. Yes. I want to give the participants a chance to ask you a question. No, we can't go too late. Can't keep up to the chest work tomorrow. But we can ask us some questions. And you're receiving so many bits of congratulations in the chat, Doctor.
Thank you so very much.
Yeah. So, who would like to say something? Betty, I see you unmuted.
Yes, I don't have a question. I just want to congratulate Dr. Natasha on such an inspirational, well, I don't even want to call it a discussion, but it was really fascinating listening to you and your life experiences, and there are really teaching moments in them, so I appreciate what it is you've shared with us this evening, and I continue to wish you well. Continue well on your journey and continue to be an inspiration to others.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Betty.
Good night.
Good night.
Go ahead.
You lovely people. Good night, Tasha. How are you? How is Maggie?
Good. Very good.
Right. So, Dr. Ward, Natasha and I go back a way long, eh?
Okay.
With her daughter's going to, with my daughter, they go to school, they went to school together.
Okay.
And Natasha's daughter used to come at my house.
That's right.
That was the only house she trusted her daughter to be at.
But
I'm so proud of you, for your resilience. You have come a long way, and you have so much to give God praise for. I wish you all the best on your journey, because God have not yet finished with you. He has so much to give to you so that you can share with others. Tonight was a very inspirational, just listening to you, your journey. You can see the goodness of God.
Yes.
My prayer is that you continue that journey with God. Give God all the praise, give him all the honor, because without him, we are nothing. And I know he will take you to places where you never dream of going. Yes. So God's blessing on behalf of myself and my husband and my entire family, we want to wish you God's blessing, his love, and his goodness. you know.
Yes.
Thank you.
So
Indeed.
you take care, beautiful as ever.
Yeah, thank you so much.
And for
A long time.
those who heard Natasha saying that she had to travel to school in Trinidad, don't think it's easy, eh?
No.
Do not think it's easy. When I did my master's, I used to tell them I fly to school.
Correct.
And sometimes when you get back to the airport in the night, you don't have a flight to go home, or you're leaving Trinidad 10:30, 11 o'clock. By the time you get home, it's close to midnight. It's not an easy thing. It requires a lot of strength. Anybody else wants to talk to Natasha?
Yes, Anita here.
Yes, Anita. Anita is another good example, eh? Yes.
Dr. Natasha,
Yes, dear.
I want to congratulate you. When I saw your picture on Monday or Tuesday on Facebook, I said, what a beautiful darkie. And I told Dr. Ward that today because we were
told me
talking
that,
about
yeah.
I said, you see, when Natasha used to work in the office, I said, I have to see her face. I said, what is her name? She
Right.
said, Dr. Natasha Rochford Chance. I said, I saw her. I said, what a beautiful darkie. I want to congratulate you. And I even asked her, I said, why did I stop? I am one who stopped it.
Yes.
I am one. And I
Started.
tell you, I started my studies at age 40, Dr. Natasha.
Right.
Age 40. And when I got
C-second?
my C-second,
Right.
and it was only once and two's down the road.
Good.
I got sick in the math. When I did math, I did not know I had low blood 4. My blood count was 4 at the time. I did not know.
Wow.
And when I failed the math, I got so discouraged. Then I realized how sick I was. I got when they checked, you can't study for blood count is 4. You wouldn't remember nothing you learned.
Wow.
And that is what I went through, and I just dropped everything right there. I got so discouraged. And today I was telling Dr. Ward, my first elder in church used to always say, I am seeing you going right up to your doctorate, the rate you're going at. And I am so, that is one regret I have in life, not that I stopped at that time.
Right.
I am so, but I want to congratulate you. You encourage me. You just put a light bulb into me.
I'm happy to do that.
You just put a light bulb into me, and I'm so happy for you. Continue. As you said, you don't know what it is to stop now. May God bless you as you go along with that kind of spirit that you have there, that type of spirit that you have there. I'm seeing you going further and encouraging others to go further. So may God continue to bless your family, and keep you. And may all the praise go to Him.
Yes.
And I recognize that you are a down-to-earth person.
Very.
Oh, yeah.
I recognize you are a down-to-earth person. Just like Dr. Waters always tell people, I worked with her for years. She was my principal. She was my principal when we worked together. And I just always tell people, it's one lady I know who got her doctorate and her feet never came off the ground. Her feet never came off the ground. It was always there. It's always there. And I'm seeing the same thing in you. So may God continue to bless you and strengthen you and guide you and keep you, give you good strength, good health, and long life to continue that journey that He has set you on, because you haven't made the journey as yet. God bless you.
Thank you so very much.
Yes.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Anita. I saw Lisa had a hand up. And Natasha, I'm sure some of these people are your friends, so we can take one of them. Yes.
Yeah.
After Lisa.
Good evening, Dr. Natasha. Congratulations.
Good evening.
You are very optimistic, and you have just prepared me for further greatness. Yes.
Good.
Great.
Good.
Yes.
Good. Very good.
And you wouldn't believe, tomorrow, please God, I'm not a counselor, but I do little things with people on phone, and something that you said, I wrote it down, and I said, yes, I'm going to use that. I thank God for your genuine. You are genuine. You are straightforward, you are real, and you are committed and determined. And don't give up. Keep going and just keep shining. Shine, and other people will just be able to take that light in and focus. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Lisa. I see Nicole. Natasha, this must be one of your friends. Nicole
is.
McKenna. Go ahead, Nicole. Unmute, Nicole, and you can speak. Nicole, your hand is up. You can go ahead and speak now. Okay, I'm not sure what's happening.
Yeah. I know she has a new device, so she probably
Oh,
having
maybe
some-
yes, maybe.
Yeah.
And I don't think I can.
Oh, she's unmuted now.
Oh, okay, great.
Yes. Good night, everybody. Good night, good night, good night.
Yes.
It gives me great pleasure in congratulating Natasha, because we would have gone to secondary school levels, come up through the chain. She was going to comprehensive. I went to convent. And sometimes Natasha would tell me, Nicole, you have to do this, Nicole, you have to do that. Yes, Tash, yes, Tash. I move yet, mind you. But something that always resonated with me that Natasha said. She said, Nikki, she said, you see me, I ain't staying here, I said, Tash, where you going? She said, Nikki, when I done with them, I had to come out some kind of famous somebody. And here she is tonight. Look at talking and my skin raising up.
Praise the Lord.
Here she is tonight. Dr. Natasha Rushford Chance.
Sounds good.
I want to say, I want to, it sound good. I thought she had the brains for me, and I got to do other thing. She had the brains for the both of us. So with that said, I want to bestow blessings on her so that she continues to stay grounded, so that she could continue to assist hard-headed people like me and others. Yeah. Continue to bring people up, because we of our colored persons, we tend to bring our brother and our sister down instead of raising them up. And the example that she is, she lifts persons, maybe not by money, but she has something beautiful to say to each and everybody.
Yes.
And I love that about her. That is why we have remained friends all these years, because I'm the kind of person if I have to tell you by God's grace, I will do that. But better believe when I'm finished telling you that, you will catch yourself, pull up your socks and move forward in a positive manner. Right? Good. So ending it, I would say congratulations again, Natasha. We have done it. I'm saying we because yes. When you want somebody to talk to, I am there. We go laugh, we go cry, we share, we eat, we drink. So we have done it, and there's only one way to go from here, and it's still higher up. Congratulations again, Dr. Natasha Rushford Chance. I had to take my time and say it.
To state, yes?
Yes, stately.
President, good night, Dr. Bob.
Yes, Bishop Charles.
I would like to meet Dr. Chance when I come to Tobago. Hope I'll be there soon.
We can arrange that.
And I guess he's a motivational speaker also. Is he a motivational speaker?
Always. Always.
She said something, check on your strong friends.
Yes.
Now in my situation, even though I'm a born again believer, what I've gone through, folks think I'm extraordinarily strong. But there are times when you will
Oh, we're not hearing you, Bishop. So while he tries to get back in, Natasha, Bishop lost his big, beautiful house in St. Vincent.
Wow.
A couple months ago. burned, lost everything except 2 Bibles and a refrigerator.
Jesus.
Big house. I stood on the porch of that house. I had a beautiful view of the ocean and everything. Wow. But he survived, and we're so happy that he is alive and is with us. Yeah, I see 2 persons, and we'll take the 2 hands. We could stretch it a little bit this evening. We'll take Janil. I think he dropped off, you know. Janil and Lester.
Hi, good night, everyone.
Good night.
So I am the supervisor that Tasha bullied today to mentor people, just saying. Right. So firstly, I would just like to say congratulations. I was present when she decided to embark on that journey. I was present when she tried to encourage that friend to join, and the friend said, Mrs. That was a whole conversation.
Mm-hmm.
I have seen the journey. I have seen the hard work. And Tasha has been an inspiration to me. We have worked together for the last 7 years. We knew each other prior. And she has been an inspiration in so many. If I had to say the ways, we would be on this call until tomorrow.
Oh, no,
She has inspired me in so many ways, personally, professionally. She goes above everyone. She wants you to be your best self. So I consider her a friend, a mentor, every single thing. Tash, love you loads.
Love you too.
And when she called me and she told me that she got through, I was literally screaming because I felt like I got a doctorate too.
I know the feeling. I know the feeling.
It was that level of, investment, because I was like, yes, you've got this. That's what we're talking about. Because she's really been pushing, your next step is, I'm not doing that. She's been saying you're going to do the doctorate. No. But once again, Tash, congratulations.
Congratulations.
I appreciate you. And thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Jenny. Lester.
Well, a pleasant good night to everyone, and Dr. Natasha Rashford Chance. Hope I'm pronouncing the name properly.
Yes, you are.
But it was very inspirational listening to you tonight. And Sister Ward, I didn't sleep tonight for purpose.
Yeah.
I'm glad I was on tonight. I tell Sister Ward many times, Wednesday night is come and catch me sleeping, but tonight I was up, and I was happy I was up to hear this wonderful motivational speaker. I think you have a long way to go. You could do seminars and workshop motivating plenty of us to reach for the stars. And again, you keep going, and thanks. Dr. Ward, thanks one. Enjoy the night, and I'm really glad I stayed up.
I'm glad.
Very glad. All right, very good. So when you bring her down to Trinidad to lecture, make sure and give her a little invitation, right?
I will do that.
I could meet her in person. That's beautiful, darky.
Yes, Lester.
And she will meet the tall, handsome fella. Just joking to make you laugh. Have a good night.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, Lester, stand by to say the closing prayer first, please. Natasha, just some closing words. I want to remind people that we can reach for the stars. But the sky is the limit. And it's not where you begin, it's where you end.
That's right.
That matters. The bumps in the road make us slow down. But when we slow down on a bump, we don't stay there. We continue going. We continue moving. I want to encourage us to share with others, to nurture others, to mentor others, to show love to others. This program is called Friend of a Wounded Heart. And the friend of a wounded heart is Jesus. And he is love. And he wants us to show love. Yes? So let's pour into others. Let's help others. Let's encourage others to be the best that they can be. Next week, we're going to be here again with another topic. I am not sure what next week's topic will be. Yes, I have some things lined up, but sometimes I change based on what is happening around us. So I'll alert you next week as to what the topic is going to be. Meanwhile, have a great week, everybody. Let's close us off in prayer. If you don't get an invitation from me, it's the same login credentials. We have been using it for 192 times. We never changed the credentials. So log in next week. If even you do not receive an invitation, we have another interesting topic for you. Lester, close us in prayer.
Joan, before Lester does what he has to do,
Yes,
I would
Betty.
like to thank you as well for thinking of bringing Natasha on tonight. I mean, it was really, I can't even find the words, but because of you, all of us were able to really listen and you know, be inspired. So I want to thank you as well as Dr. Natasha.
You're welcome.
Yes,
You're
over
welcome,
to you.
Betty. Yeah. God always
My
guides.
phone was extra hot, so it just shut out on you all. Sorry about that.
And even now, the signal is a little weak.
Oh,
So it's dragging. We're not hearing you well.
okay. You need to charge.
All right. We heard that. We heard that. All right. Celeste, go ahead.
So let's pray, Father in heaven. We are indeed grateful that we could have spent this quality time tonight hearing such an inspirational story from your daughter, Dr. Natasha Rushford Chance. The way you led her life through the ups, the downs, you kept her with the drive to keep pursuing her goals and still keep on and still climbing, Father. We are thankful, Lord, for the journey.
Yes.
So she is able to share it tonight and inspire us to follow suit, to go after our passion, what find something we really like to do and go after it. Make a plan and go after it. Father, it really was an inspiration to me to hear her tonight. I pray a very special blessing on her life. I ask, Lord, that you will continue to bless her and keep her. I pray, oh Lord, that you will protect her going out and her coming in. I pray, Father, that no weapon that form against her shall prosper.
Yes.
Help her to know that the God who led her in the past is the same God who will lead her in the future. Be with her children, be with her grandchildren, be with everybody that concerns her. Help her, Lord, that she will continue to be that positive influence in her workplace and everyone who she come into contact with. Father, the country, our nation need to hear stories like these. Good news. We are surrounded with so many depressing and bad stories and sad stories, and so refreshing to hear some good news of good success, Lord. We pray again that you will continue to bless her. We want to thank you for the role of Dr. Ward and her ministry, Friend of a Wounded Heart. Continue to inspire her. Also, that she will continue to surrender her life to you so that you can use her. Thank you for every person who was on tonight. I pray, oh Lord, that you will bless us all, Father, and help us, empower us to not only hear the lecture and see it was a good lecture, but help us to really find out our passion and go after it in one small way. Start small and look to go after it, because truly, Lord, it was an inspirational talk. So be with us tonight. Continue to bless, keep God, and direct us. Be with us again as we meet next week. We don't know the topic yet, but whatever the topic, we want to seek you in advance. Why? Because you said in all thy ways acknowledge you and you will direct our paths. So be with us, we pray, in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Lester. Thank you, everybody, for joining us, and have a beautiful night, beautiful week. And I hope to see we're here every Wednesday night. So
Yes.
join us again. Even some of Natasha's friends. We discuss
Yes.
very interesting topics. So join us again,
Good.
please.
And thank you again, Dr. Natasha.